You know, it's often joked about in America that our government is always spying on us and that everything that we do is being recorded, but is it really a joke? Right? And adding fuel to that fire is what we just got from Wired. Because they just got some internal FBI emails that show that the agency is actively encouraging its agents to use a warrantless foreign surveillance program to spy on Americans. It's known as Section 702, and it's been at the center of controversy before when it's been used to target protesters, journalists, and even some politicians. Right? It's part of the controversial Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, which was just reauthorized. And Section 702 allows the feds to conscript companies into recording a database of your calls, texts, messages, emails, smoke signals, pretty much any form of communication, with this making a massive database that the FBI is then able to access, which caused the first stir over the program. Because when Congress was debating about reauthorizing FISA or making any adjustments, Section 702 was saved after FBI Director Christopher Wray promised that the agency was dramatically reducing how often it's used. But this April 20th email that Wired just published shows otherwise. As a matter of fact, it encourages agents to use the database, with Deputy Director Paul Abate writing, "To continue to demonstrate why tools like Section 702 are essential to our mission, we need to use them while also holding ourselves accountable for doing so properly and in compliance with legal requirements. I urge everyone to continue to look for ways to appropriately use U.S. person queries to advance the mission, with the added confidence that this new pre-approval requirement will help ensure that those queries are fully compliant with the law." And his emphasis on being, quote, fully compliant with the law, that's a bit misleading, because he's really following the letter, not the spirit of the law. It is meant for use cases like getting information on potential terror suspects abroad who are using platforms like Facebook to possibly recruit or communicate plans, not target Americans and journalists. But the only major hurdle to recording someone is that the company has to reasonably believe that the person is a foreigner not currently within the US. But let's say they're speaking to an American, well, tough luck, that conversation's being tracked. And it's because of this that lawmakers like Representative Zoe Lofgren came out and said, "The deputy director's email seems to show that the FBI is actively pushing for more surveillance of Americans, not out of necessity, but as a default." This directly contradicts earlier assertions from the FBI during the debate over Section 702's reauthorization. She's not alone with this, as many lawmakers and civil liberty proponents have come out against Section 702. But there's also a lot of people who celebrate it, and I mean literally celebrate it, with the likes of Mike Turner and Jim Himes sending out invitations last week to FISA Fest to celebrate 702's extension, which okay, I gotta admit, that is a very good name. What happens at FISA Fest is very well documented and put in a database for later use. But also, too, it's not surprising. Right? Both of those guys were instrumental in not only getting 702 extended, but also killing amendments that would have required agents to get search warrants for any queries that included Americans who were recorded on the side. But probably the most concerning thing about all this is that a lot of questions about 702's authority are still up in the air because the law is currently very vague. For example, it is unclear exactly what type of businesses the U.S. government can force into working for them. Right? Is it any platform that facilitates communication or specific categories like social media platforms? Which is why some lawmakers are trying to make the changes happen. But it is insanely concerning that it'll take stories and leaks like these for changes to actually happen. Also, I say that knowing there is no guarantee that changes will actually happen.